I don't think having 2 amps is too many amps. Hey everyone, I'm Ryan.
And I'm Steven. This is 60 Cycle Hum, the guitar buying, selling, trading, modding, fixing, working, reviewing, playing podcast.
That's right, Steve. What do we do on this show?
Well, Ryan. This first ad, everybody knows what we do on this show.
Yeah, we cover the most crazy of Craigslist, the most egregious of eBay.
All right, that's
the
good.
Most ridiculous.
This is from Reverb. This is from Joey's car. Rock and Roll Reverb Deluxe 20-watt Plexi guitar tube combo amplifier. Rock and Roll amps. This is $2,519.95. It is in Plainview, New York. Why is it such a strange number? I don't know. Let's see. Welcome to All Music Inc.'s Music Dungeon. You're looking at a great piece. This is the rock and roll. Yeah, whatever. What is it? The cabinet is constructed of a dense, clear polymer. Is it not just plexiglass?
It's plexiglass, Steve.
That not only produces deep and full resonance, but displays the inner working of this beast. So you can see all your freaking dust bunnies that are going to collect in there.
Oh, yeah.
To add to these stage, the presence of the Reverb Deluxe, there are miniature lights behind the blue control plate that illuminate the amp with a ghostly blue glow. Well, Hughes and Kettner cease and desist incoming. Killer on a dark stage. The Reverb Deluxe is hand-wired, custom-made G10 eyelet board. But what is it?
It's an amp, Steve. It's a Plexi. This is the Plexi everyone talks about.
This single-channel 20-watt all-tube amp features two AX7s, two 12AT7s, and the preamp, which feeds a pair of 6 V6. So this is a Princeton.
I like it already.
Controls are straightforward for your maybe. Oh, see, it might be a deluxe reverb.
I think it's supposed to be a deluxe reverb.
Hence the name Reverb Deluxe.
Right.
Idiot. Me. I'm the idiot. Controls are straightforward.
I wasn't going to question it. It's like if Steve says it's a Princeton, maybe it's a Princeton.
No, for some reason I know Princeton's use 6V6s.
Sure.
And I forgot that Deluxes use them. The 20 watts should have been a giveaway.
Of course.
Filtering, tube driven reverb, Rolla Celestion 12. We're an authorized dealer.
There you go. That's all you authorized dealer. That's all you need to know.
This Music Dungeon in Plainview, New York is an authorized dealer. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 knob amp. So it's like a deluxe reverb circuit, but it doesn't have the vibrato.
Exactly. It's a 1-channel deluxe.
What is this switch for again? Oh, it's bright switch.
Yeah. That's not on Princeton. I wish. I wish Princeton had a bright switch.
Is the reverb foot switchable? Show me the back of that amp.
I don't think so.
Nope.
No, it is not. This is the sort of amp you get when your drummer's got a Vista Light kit, and then you get this, and then you both like side eye your bassist and like, what you gonna do? What's your move? We match. What's your problem? Hey, bassist, what are you gonna do?
I don't even want to know how much an acrylic bass rig would weigh.
Dude, this amp has got to be nuts. It's got to be super heavy compared to an amp. At least as a 1x12. Like if it was a 4x12, it'd be like, you're never moving this. This is just a conversation piece. Yeah. This is the sort of thing they roll out at NAMM just to show off. No one's actually gonna like gig with this thing.
Marshall had a Plexi one year. I don't know if you remember.
Did they really?
That. Yeah,
that's cool.
Maybe it was just I think it was an all Plexi, so you could like see inside of it. And everything.
Yeah.
I think this looks well done. It looks good. The amp build itself, it's on that board, it's point to point or whatever. Is that considered point to point?
Sure, it's made old school style.
It's not. There's wires, so it's not.
Oh, great! There's wires.
Yeah, but
it's not going to sound right. It's got wires in it.
But it's on turret board. It's hand wired.
I'm going to say that I'm going to file this under the price is the price, and who am I to argue with boutique prices? Like if you want a deluxe reverb sound, there's all sorts of used options out there that you could get in the low 1000s, I'm sure.
Here's the issue.
The high hundreds.
Here's the issue. I would say the speaker grill makes this look cheap.
It is like an automotive speaker grill.
But I don't know what you do instead in this case.
You're not going to do grill cloth?
No, exactly. You
got to do something like that.
But yeah, you're right. I think 2,500 for this is probably in the ballpark. Again, The issue being the other issue being that I've never heard of this company, Rock and Roll Amps.
You have now. This is
Yeah.
your first introduction. And the next time you see a plexiglass amplifier, you're going to be like, oh, yeah, it's like Rock and Roll Amps.
Yeah, Rock and Roll.
Yeah. Like, you know, I saw their stuff one time before, and now I'll remember them forever. I think it's really cool. I think it's a fun concept. If you already have an acrylic thing going on, if you play an acrylic guitar, maybe you're into heavy stuff and you've got an acrylic guitar with an aluminum neck. I couldn't say aluminum there for a minute. If you've got an acrylic guitar with an aluminum neck and you want to complete your rig, you get this, and then you get someone to make you an acrylic pedal board, and you go for the whole thing. You know, this is for the completionist out there that wants to have the all acrylic rig, and I support them. I think they should do it. I think eventually you should invest in the all acrylic 4x12 half stack.
Yeah, this is a little marked up. These are normally like, I think because it's the acrylic cab, because these are normally like $2,000.
Right. Oh, they're
from this company, Rock and Roll.
They're normal wooden amplifiers that have that awful inconsistent wooden sound. Do you want to sound like wood, or do you want to sound like your tone is glassy?
Yeah.
You know, you want that glassy tone. It would actually be amazing if they could make an amp out of real glass. I know someone made a guitar out of glass, and what's his name? Tyler Larson played it.
Oh,
in a video. It would be neat to have an amplifier that's like, man, be real careful carrying that amp around. If you drop it on a corner, it's all over.
You play like a high note, the amp shatters.
Right. Where this is an amp you can use inside an aquarium.
This guy has a demo channel.
This amp is good down to like is good down to 350 meters, I bet.
Okay.
He has a demo channel.
Fine.
Is this a demo guy amp?
Apparently, well,
he's a
builder, but apparently he's also got some demos.
What's his subscriber count?
I'm trying to see if I can get to it without triggering.
I want to know if he's a YouTuber or if he's a builder that has a YouTube.
It's called Rock and Roll Amps. He's probably a builder who has a YouTube channel.
Of course, he's probably that, but I want to know for sure.
768 subscribers.
Okay, so he's a builder who has a YouTube. He's not a YouTuber who is a builder.
He does post frequently. He posted 4 days ago.
Good.
His most popular video is 7.6 thousand views.
I mean,
his oldest video is from 14 years ago.
If you're a builder, you got to be a little bit of everywhere.
Yeah.
You got to try your hand. I mean, and 700 subscribers, like that's not nothing.
No,
I say anytime someone starts any sort of media endeavor, whether it be YouTube, podcast, even Instagram, et cetera, the moment you get past friends and family numbers, where it's not just your mom and your buds following you, you've done something. This guy's got more people than his immediate friends and family following him. Obviously, he's done something. Congratulations.
I think it's always interesting, because you do see a lot of. There was like a brand YouTube channel I went on the other day that I was surprised at how low their sub counts were.
Are you gonna dig on me? Like, is
no,
this
no,
a
no,
setup so that
no. This
you're not
isn't
that great, Ryan.
No, it's just. But I think I still think it's important for brands to be out there and like have something.
Yeah.
And sometimes because when somebody wants to learn about the product, unless you're going to go in on a bunch of demoers and stuff, sometimes the easiest thing is just to make your own video and post it for people to check out.
Absolutely, and everyone should try to do that. Like. I demoed that Cosmodio pedal. A couple of weeks back. They have excellent self-produced content.
Yeah.
Like, and there's so much value in hearing about the product direct from the manufacturer, direct from the people who have hands on it and built it and designed it. You absolutely want to know what they have to say about a product before you purchase it. So every brand out there that is making efforts that direction is doing the right thing. Yeah. Don't wait for a demo guy like me to demo your stuff. You got to represent your own stuff too.
Yeah.
All right. Do we have anything else to say about this? We think people should buy it?
I think it's worth looking at.
I can't see any reason why the right person shouldn't buy this. If it fits your vibe, your look, if it fits your interest, you're interested in the acoustic qualities of non-organic materials, here you go. No one walked into the woods and harvested the materials for this amplifier. It's all plastic.
It looks cool. Who knows how it's interesting because it says it's like tuned. But you know, who knows? I
have a feeling I would have no problem with the sound of this amp.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be like, oh man, it doesn't sound wooden enough.
Sure,
I'd be totally fine with the sound of this. I'm sure. And if I didn't like the sound of it, it's got tone controls, and I would, I would start by like turning the bass knob, you know? It's got a mid control. Mm-hmm. It's got everything that you need right there. You know, anything that you lost or gained from going from wood to acrylic, you can adjust it out, I'm sure. And if you can't, then you can swap the speaker, and that'll make the biggest difference.
Right.
Yeah.
Ryan.
Yes, Steve.
You know, if you want to have like access to all the controls,
mm-hmm.
you need to head on over to chasebliss.com.
Yeah, they have the most control.
Just look at what pedals they have.
Uh-huh.
And if you're not seeing one that has the controls you want,
yeah.
I think like if you just want controls for your guitar, I think the clean could be an excellent option.
Of course, yeah.
But if you want to see future stuff, you should get on the mailing list. And then when they do new things, you'll find out about them.
We got to get the mystery boxes because we're on the mailing list. We didn't get a special message. We didn't see a flare shot into the sky because we're YouTubers and we're sponsored by Chase Bliss. No, we found out the same way that you would.
Yeah.
So sign up.
And yeah, you should do that. Ryan, this episode's also brought to these fine folks by TrueFire.
That's true, Steve.
TrueFire is a big old lesson site. They got tens of thousands of lessons is what I heard last week.
If you're going to invest in a lesson site, it might as well be a big one because they're going to have the most content.
Their best deal is to sign up for a full year. That gives you the lowest rate. I think it's something like gets it down like under $30 a month.
It's like the bulk rate where you get one free, you know.
But if you want to like just check it out, you can sign up for a free trial for a couple of weeks and then just go from there.
Exactly.
So I personally recommend that because I think it's important to know what you're buying before you buy it, and like especially before making like a big commitment like that. But I think, you know, if you try it out, you're going to be happy and you're going to want to sign up for more.
Absolutely. Go check them out. They've been supporting us. Go support them.
Yeah. So
see what it's like.
So Ryan, recently on Threads.
Yes, Steve.
You asked people on Threads, how do you know when to start decorating for Christmas?
That's not what we're going to talk about.
No. So you asked people like
I've got it right here, Steve. I can read the direct quote.
Okay. Read that direct quote.
How old were you when you started playing guitar? And we got a lot of replies, and it was what I was expecting. Most people started playing in their very early teens. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. A few people before, a few people well after, but I'd say most of the answers were like 13, 14, 15. Like that's where people start learning to play guitar. So
how old were you when you first started playing?
Squarely guitar? 13, right there.
Like you were exactly in between 13 and 14
to
the minute.
I could not be any more or less 13 when I started playing guitar. So I thought it would be fun to do a topic this episode where we address the teenagers out there who are starting to play guitar and help them out. This is a topic just for you. The cool teens who have decided to fill the rest of their life with this hobby. So where should we start? Should we start with gear? Should we start with like what songs or what like techniques to learn?
Well, let's start.
Should we tell them which strap to buy? Because that's a hard decision when you're starting out.
You should go to Rocket Music Gear.
Yes.
And find the rainbow strap that, you know, or some kind of pearlescent deal.
If you're looking to express yourself, Rocket Straps probably has something that will express your unique perspective on life. So yeah, go check them out. There's a lot of strap companies. I was mostly joking, but yeah, Rocket Straps are our friends.
Rocket Music. It's called Rocket Music Gear, Ryan.
So what age were you when you started playing?
I was, so I took lessons when I was 12. Mm-hmm. I don't think I really
was that like a parent imposed thing?
It was, I got the guitar from my grandmother, so I just had it, and I didn't know where to go.
Gotcha.
Didn't know what to.
And you wanted to. You wanted to.
I wanted to.
Okay.
But it was like a old Harmony archtop with terrible action, so I actually kind of like stopped playing for a couple years because of that, and then I wasn't strong enough to play it, which is a weird thing to say about like when my grandmother was this like 4'10" country woman.
Right. Well, country woman answers the question.
It probably legitimately probably does.
She was used to, milking cows and stuff like that. Yeah. She had that crazy grip.
But yeah, so I would say I probably picked it up more seriously around like age 14, age 15, somewhere in there. All right. So yeah. Definitely within the teenage range. Well, and to this point, I posted some pictures on two pictures on Instagram a while ago. My Jag Stang freshly restrung with String Joy strings because my daughter wanted to pick it up, and I don't know what she's doing to learn because this is what I told her. One, she doesn't want to.
Did you tell her that you've got a True Fire?
Yeah, I'm gonna set her up with that.
That's a story, Steve. Like you could spin that into the sponsorship every week. Like,
I haven't.
What is my daughter learning through the sponsor?
I haven't set it up yet.
Okay.
And interestingly, she doesn't want an amp. My daughter's a very private person.
Sure. So
I was like, oh well, do you want? I can hook you up with a cable and an amp, or what do you want to do? She goes, I don't want it to be loud. So she wants to play electric guitar unplugged. Which one thing you should know. Totally acceptable. You can do that. Your parents will probably appreciate it.
Do you have a headphone amp?
Oh, you know what? I do. That's a good point, Ryan.
Give her a headphone amp. Oh, I gave you like one of the Flammas.
I have one of the Flamma.
That's
FX10.
a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Give her that.
Yeah, give her a set of headphones and the Flamma, and she can be, because that's honestly perfect. Like going on the gear direction of things. I bought my first electric guitar from a pawn shop, and then I was like, oh, great, I don't have an amp. I blew all my money on this first guitar, and I can't play it. And so my mom very graciously drove me to the local trumpet rental store that had some guitar stuff, and she bought me my first amp, which was a crate, and she bought me a cable, because apparently you need that too, and she bought me a little quick tuner. So my mom did invest in my initial decision to become an electric guitarist.
What a mistake.
I know. I had to learn on her old acoustic from college. So I was already playing. But so your mom had an old acoustic from college, but did you get any like pointers from her? No, because she stopped playing it in college. Like she took it as a class. It was like an elective for her. So she stopped playing the moment the class was over, and it just lived in our closet forever. So, but what I'm getting to is a much, much, much better place for me to start, if it had been available technology at the time, is one of these little headphone plugs that exist today.
There's the Fender Mustang Micro is one.
Yeah, and they have a new version of that. I don't have it, but it looks good. I really like the Boss Katana one, but they discontinued it. The Flamma one is honestly really decent. There's a lot of them out there now, and they will all function great, just fine for the beginner. They have built-in effects. They have built-in different flavors of amp sounds. They have various different practice tools. They have built-in tuners. They're one-stop shops. If you already have headphones, it's such a no-brainer. If you're starting and you might want your neighbors to hear you learn to play electric guitar. They don't. The headphone amps is the way to go. And then also, they're so easy to pair over Bluetooth with your devices. Right. For jamming along to free videos, to songs, to lessons. If you're paying for a subscription service or something like that for lessons, like it is the way to go. I wish that stuff existed when I was starting out. Sure. It would have saved me a lot of trouble, because it would have been a better experience. And it would have saved my family and my neighbors a lot of annoyance. I don't know how they survived me. Like I've been a ridiculous sound asshole my whole life. So you can imagine what I was up to alone in a room.
So that's like a gear. That's a gear recommendation.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like if you're ready to start playing with your friends, then get an amp.
Yeah. My kid grabbed a pick, and I don't know which one. Oh no, she goes, I go, what, like you're going to need a pick. What pick do you want? And she goes, I've already got 60 cycle hum picks. Because I think because I was helping, she helps me pack the Patreon merch, which I need to sit down and do another run of that with her. And when we were doing it, she took one of the pink picks and she's like, "Can I have this?" I was like, "Yeah, I've got them. Like,
There you go.
just have one." So yeah, she has that. But you know, I think
Picks are an easy thing to experiment with.
I think
though.
picks are an easy thing to experiment with, but I would just recommend like a very middle of the road, you know, pick to start out, like something like the ones we use are basically like the Dunlop grips, like the paper grip. What are they called?
Top 3 picks that new guitarists should try.
Mm-hmm,
I mean, here's a clip, RJ. Like a Fender tortoise pick.
Yeah.
You should try
medium or heavy.
You should start with a medium. You should also try a heavy. You should also try a light. Dunlop Tortex, same thing. Medium, heavy, light. Try them all. And then you should get one of those nylon ones that you and Adam like that have the grip on them.
Oh, the flexible, the Dunlop nylons. Yeah.
Is that what they are? The nylon ones?
They're made by Dunlop.
I hate those. I hate the weird plastic seam on the side of them. But a lot of people seem to love them. But you need to figure out, am I a heavy pick person? Am I a light pick person? Am I a medium pick? Like my entire guitar playing life, like medium is like the lightest I'll go. Normally I like a heavy pick, and medium is like, oh, I want some flex if I'm doing some strumming.
Sure.
You know? Guitars. What guitar should a new player go for?
Well, you know, I was thinking about this the other day because somebody asked this question, and a lot of people said, like, you know, get a Boss Katana, you know, you have or get like a,
that's not a guitar.
Just get like a Strat, or just get a Telecaster or whatever, right? Like, what is good beginner gear? And I said, you know what? I think if you want to pick up a guitar and you're inspired by a particular artist to do it, like say you're inspired by Slash,
sure,
from Guns N' Roses, that's who you want to emulate. I think you should learn everything about his gear. And I think, you know, instead of fumbling around trying to figure out like, oh, do I want a Strat or Telecaster or Epiphone Les Paul, just get it over with. Your first guitar should be a Gibson Appetite for Destruction / Les Paul. And your first amp should be the Magnatone / amp.
Forget
like, yeah,
college.
You're down $12,000, but you'll never have to get another piece of gear.
At least you've got a rig you can grow into, right?
Yeah.
No. That's terrible advice. I mean, all the middle-aged midlife crisis folks out there who are getting into gear, if you've got the money and that's how you're going to have your fun, go wild. If you want to have top end gear, like dream gear starting out, like, sure. Like, feed the capitalism beast. Like you're going to put braces on teeth for some builder out there who's, you know, working on their craft. But starting out,
a real take, starting guitar. I feel like this is controversial, which is so screwed up about, I think it says so much about the guitar, a culture of guitar.
I
think your first guitar should be the one that you think is cool.
I totally agree. Like I was going to say that if you're looking for the most functional, like introduce you to the most sounds, introduce you to the most conventional kind of feeling guitar, any kind of fat Stratocaster where you're getting a humbucker in the bridge and a single somewhere else in there, so you can try those different flavors. Yeah, that would be great. And maybe even mess around with the wiggle stick, the whammy bar if you want to. But honestly, like deeply, literally, if there is a guitar where you look at it and you're like, I love that. Like that is the one that is getting me excited to play guitar, and you can afford it. And it's not, you know, there's nothing about it that is going to impair you in any sort of way. Yeah. Get the guitar that is inspiring you to play. If you become a guitarist, if this develops into a whole thing in your life, it's not going to be your last guitar. So don't buy it like it's going to be your last guitar. Buy it like that's the one I want right now.
Yeah. You know, I said this, I mentioned it at the top, right? Like on my wall at home, I've got a Strat, I've got a Telecaster, I've got that nasty Jaguar thing. Got a Les Paul. I would not let my kid have a Les Paul for her first guitar.
No.
And I've got
you have to earn it.
Yeah, and I've got just because like that's the one guitar that I'm most afraid of breaking.
Sure.
Because it's a Gibson.
It's a Gibson.
And
it's got a glass headstock.
And then I've got the Jag Stang, and then like I've got an acoustic and whatever. Acoustic guitars are boring.
I love that she picked the Jag Stang.
And she picked the Jag Stang, and my first instinct was, oh, you don't want to deal with a Mustang vibrato. I had to deal with that. It was annoying. Like,
that's a lesson though. That's learning, you know?
But then I thought the thing that I just said is like, well, if she thinks that's my coolest guitar, then that's the one she's most likely to play.
And when she goes from a Jag Stang to any other guitar, if this becomes a big part of her life, it's gonna feel like getting out of the pool and going in the jacuzzi. It's like the
in some ways
the night and day difference in between that guitar, which is like, I love my Jag Stang. Yeah. Like, everyone knows that. But the night and day difference between a Jag Stang, which is such a funky guitar, moving over to even a Strat, or even like to your most basic double humbucker or two-pneumatic hardtail sort of thing, it's going to be so night and day. It's going to feel like a totally new experience. And that's exciting. Yeah. That's so exciting. Like
I would just say it's a new experience. I don't know if I'd say it's moving from the pool to, like, that makes it sound,
I know, like, it's a little bit of a rough metaphor,
like that, but the Jag Stang's not luxurious.
It's like going from spicy to sweet or something like that. You know,
I like that.
The contrast. Like that. There's a contrast there.
And the other thing that I thought about with this, because, you know, my kid's like 5'6", so she's on the taller side. I don't actually know how big her hands are, but the Jag Stang is because mine is the one from 1996, the Japanese version. It's got that toothpick Japanese neck on it.
Yeah, and those little baby frets.
And I'm just like, that's actually probably a really good choice for like a beginner kid, you know, to learn on, because everything's pretty tight. You don't have to worry about like stretching out. When I learned on that Jag Stang, I definitely had trouble like playing Strats, because I was like, why the hell is the neck so big? Also, it took me a while to make those adjustments.
You started on a Harmony acoustic.
Yeah.
I started on a Hohner acoustic from the 70s. How much more baller is it to start on a Jag Stang? Like, that's a better story.
Yeah.
Oh, my first guitar was a Jag Stang. What? That's a cool story.
Yeah.
My first, I will say, like, I will right now try to talk the new guitarists out of getting a guitar as your first guitar.
With a Floyd Rose?
Even your first electric, getting a guitar with a Floyd Rose. That's a I want to say it was a mistake that I made.
Right.
My first electric guitar had a licensed Floyd Rose on it. It was a Slammer by Hamer.
Licensed to Floyd.
It was like a license of a license, you know. But the counter argument there, I learned a lot.
Yeah.
Like, I was already committed. Like, I knew I wanted to play electric guitar. And part of me being in love with that idea was I immediately started taking things apart. Like, I played around with that electric guitar for probably about a week and a half, and until I started, like, I want to start taking things apart. I want to unscrew things. I want to see how the bridge works. I want to understand all of this. And I accidentally released one of the strings because I was messing with the adjusters on the back, because I thought it was going to adjust something. I didn't know it was holding the string in. So the string popped out, and then I'm screwed. Then I'm trying to figure, and there was no internet back then. There was a little bit of internet, but it was just for email, you know, and checking the weather if you were lucky. So I had to go to a guitar store, and they had to talk me through it. And I had to learn how to snip the ball ends and stuff like that. And then when I put the new strings in, I had to figure out how to balance the whole system and stuff. And it was so frustrating. And I shed tears, like, trying to figure out a Floyd Rose. But that was part of my journey. And that's part of what is built into my DNA as someone who has grown to so deeply love the instrument. If you took that away from me, maybe I wouldn't have such a deep relationship with the instrument.
Right.
You know, maybe there was something to that. So I wanted my first electric guitar to have a wiggle stick that could go any direction, because I was reading that Floyd's you could dive, you could pull, and because it's double locking, you would stay in tune. I'm like, that sounds like the one for me. No one on the internet told me it was going to be a pain in the ass to set it up.
Sure.
But I learned how to set up a Floyd Rose. And I'm not a Floyd Rose type player now, but I could still set up a Floyd Rose in my sleep.
Right.
You know, like it was an experience for me. So I don't want to talk anyone out of getting the guitar that seems exciting to them. There's really not a lot of conventional guitars on the market that are impossible.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, say instead of, I know you talked about getting like just a headphone amp, like you know, something like that. But say they get like a more traditional practice amp, you know, Fender, is it the Champion, whatever, the Frontman or whatever, right?
Yeah.
What would you say? I mean, I think the conventional wisdom is like, oh, you know, you shouldn't really focus on effects too early. You should just play.
No, I say go for it.
So the question I would have is, what would you recommend? First of all, would you recommend like standalone effects out the gate, like a multi-effect pedal out the gate? What are you thinking there?
I hit a certain point in my young guitar journey where I wanted to experience tube amps. If you're itching for that, you're like, I want to start with a tube amp, or like I've started a while ago and I feel like I'm ready. Totally go for it. And in that case, you're going to want external effects. You're going to want to get into stop boxes, or maybe that's even something that you're just interested in anyways.
Yeah.
If you're interested in it, go for it. Start like exploring pedals if you want to. But if you want an education in what all those effects do before you start buying individual effects, I still really strongly recommend the Boss Katana as like a practice amp, or as even for people who are well experienced and they just want to kick around the house amp, or like your office amp or whatever. The Katana has a lot of built-in effects stock from the control panel,
right,
that are just the factory settings.
Yeah.
And it gives you a lot. But if you do the work to connect it to a computer, you have a desktop computer or a laptop. I'm assuming there's a way to connect them to iPads and stuff like that now. They have everything.
Right.
They literally have everything. They have effects that Boss never manufactured, but they have stuff that like Boss stopped manufacturing. They have a slicer in there. And if you're new, you don't know what that is, but all the experienced people watching this video right now are like, oh my gosh, there's a slicer in the Boss Katana. Yeah, there's a full featured slicer built into the Boss Katana. You just have to turn it on by getting into the software. And there's so much stuff like that. It's such an education in styles of effects and different signal chains and things like that. And you'll find out what you like, what excites you, what you want to explore as standalone pedals. And it's just an education. Like I really stand by the Boss Katana. I think the only downside for a beginner is that they do not have a built-in tuner.
If you just wanted to do like a floorboard thing, is there anything that would be equivalent to like the old Zoom 505s or G1s or whatever on the market right now? That, because
I think the simplest way
would you recommend, say, one of those Line 6 pocket pod pedals to a beginner?
I totally would. I think those are a great place to start. And if you don't want it, it's essentially the same thing as a headphone amp. It's just in pedal format.
Can you run does that have amp sims?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know what all the features.
No, that's what it is. They have a bass one and they have a guitar one, and then they have a higher gain amp one now too. But yeah, those little is it called the Pocket Pod? I forget.
I thought so.
They're little.
No, it's Pod Express.
The little Pod Expresses.
Yeah.
They're little. They're 2-button pedals, and they have some basic amp sounds, effect sounds, etc., etc. And man, those are like a great first rig for a new guitarist. They run off of double A's.
Yeah. Somebody is listening to this in their car, and they were just screaming Pod Express.
I know.
At their
probably someone who works at Yamaha's. Like, you don't know the name of it. Yeah. But on it, like, and there's so many cheap like multi-effect processors now and stuff like that. And get into the used market.
Yeah.
Like if there's something that you're looking for, you don't need to go straight to a retailer. It's very rare that guitar gear goes bad. Like don't let Guitar Center scare you into getting the extended warranty stuff or whatever. Like,
well, here's the problem.
Like get used stuff and try it. My first electric guitar was used. So
I guess they could go on Reverb, but if they really want like the best, like they don't want to deal with shipping and stuff, right now the best place is Facebook Marketplace.
Sure.
Teenagers don't have Facebook accounts because Facebook is for old people.
But
it's for people like us, 1 foot in the grave.
If you're looking to do it on a budget, which a lot of teenagers are.
Yeah.
I mean, some teenagers are extremely fortunate and have parents that will indulge their interests in various hobbies. A lot of teenagers pick up summer jobs or work as grocery clerks, and they earn their own money. I was one of those. I mowed lawns starting at like 12 and a half. I started mowing lawns, and then I was babysitting to earn all my fun money because my family, they didn't have the money to throw into like, what hobbies do you want to do?
Right.
So yeah, get on Craigslist, get on OfferUp, get Facebook Marketplace if you have it. Anywhere that used gear is being sold, look at what's being sold and research it. Go watch some videos, figure out if it's what you want, and lowball. Say, hey, this like try it out. Worst thing that they can do is say no.
Yeah.
Like everyone who lists used stuff for sale, we all encountered lowballs. And every now and then it's like, yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm trying to get rid of this thing, so why not? You offer the money that you have. You're a teenager, you know? Mm-hmm. That's my advice.
We kind of hit the gear thing. I do agree. Like, I think TrueFire is a great place to start. I think the internet right now is just built up so much better to like learn instruments.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Are you transitioning into a sponsorship?
No, I'm not. Okay. And you did bring up the TrueFire thing with my kid. The thing I did tell her, which I think it's people are going to think might think it's horrible. I actually told her that I will not give her guitar lessons. I told her if there's a specific thing she wants to learn, I will help her with it.
There's so much power in self-teaching.
But in terms of like, I just told her like, I'm not, because I was self-taught, I don't think I could sit down and have the patience and because I know her personality and I know my personality, I don't think I would have the patience to be like, today we're going to learn the D chord and this, and, doon, whatever. But I told her, I was like, if you want to learn a song and you're not understanding a part, then like, I'll help you with those kinds of specifics. Or like, if the guitar goes out of tune, I had her download the Fender Tuner app.
Perfect. I use that app.
But yeah, those are things where like the internet is such a massive resource now. And I think with lessons, in general, it's hard to, like, I don't think you're going to stumble on anything that's like necessarily so wrong that it's going to be like detrimental. You might find something where like other people who do lessons might look at it, or other players might look at it and be like, I don't know that I would do it that way, but I don't necessarily know you're going to find much that's like an actual hindrance.
Everyone has different styles of learning.
Yeah.
But I can say from my perspective, what would be most powerful to someone like me, my type of personality.
Yeah.
Start with the fun. Start like get on free tab sites or wherever, find free lessons on YouTube from Marty Schwartz or Justin Guitar. There's a lot of resources out there where you can start getting tastes of how to play things. Find people who are playing the songs you want to learn and just keep trying. There's going to be songs where like, this is unbelievably difficult. I didn't know this song that I like is going to be so difficult. And then you'll stumble across some song where you're like, oh my gosh, I could do this. Oh yeah. This is like 3 or 4 chords and I already know 2 of them. I can learn the other 2. That other one, I'm not so sure. I'll fumble my way through it, or I'll just skip it and wait for that part where the next chord starts or whatever. And you just start chipping away and finding fun. Find the things that self-entertain you, even if it's just making a weird sound effect with the effects in your amp or your headphone plug or whatever. Like, just find the fun. Find the thing that keeps you coming back, and then start challenging yourself to learn the stuff where you need to sit and like practice a scale for an hour.
Yeah.
Like then you start working into the stuff that feels like a piano recital, but you're doing it because you're having fun pursuing it.
Yeah. I don't think I have anything else. If you had something that you thought was super valuable to you when you first started playing guitar, drop it down in the comments below. Of course, like we can't in 25 minutes or whatever be comprehensive. So we talked about things that we know about, but we'd love to hear about your experiences. I will say, after you've been playing a while and, you did mention like, you're ready to maybe try out a tube amp. Don't forget about Wong's.
Super smooth
they're a
transition,
sponsor
Steve.
of this episode. They've that's an OD, the OD 15 back there?
Something like that.
OD 30.
OD 30.
But they have a Dumble style head now. They've got two of them, 20 watts and 40 watts, I believe.
As far as I'm aware, they're the only Dumble style amps out there that are under $1,000.
Yeah.
Both of them are under $1,000. You know how much Dumbles cost? Like 150 grand.
Well, there's like Dumble style amps that are like
I
25.
know, but I said real Dumbles.
Yeah.
Only John Mayer can afford them, and Joe Bonamassa. Do you want to sound better than them? I bet you. I stumbled on that. Do you want to sound better than them? I bet you can. And all you need is the secret recipe.
Yep.
A Dumble style amp with all the crystal lettuce packed in there. So might as well go check it out. Also, Wang's has a rebate program.
Right.
If you got a camera, you got a phone that has a camera on it, you want to make a little video of yourself playing around with one of these amps that they're making, one of these Dumble amps, they'll give you a 25% rebate if you publish your own self-made demo, review, whatever you want to call it, to YouTube, social media, et cetera, et cetera. Write them and ask them the specifics. Find out exactly what you need to do if you are interested in checking out a Wang's Dumble.
Yeah, check out that link below so you can get that tone fancier with electricity guitar.
That's right. Get your hands on a Wang's.
This next ad was sent by somebody I've never seen an ad from before.
Oh, really?
This is from Root Van Andel.
Mm-hmm.
And it's,
I'm looking forward to you reading this listing.
This is a Gegraveerde guitar. This is somewhere in Europe. This is in some language that we don't, probably also Dutch, actually.
Possibly.
Gegraveerde Epiphone guitar, standard Epiphone humbuckers, Mira, photos op min, Facebook, pagina. In Spanish, that's pagina. But I don't know what it is in Dutch. Geodran. Okay. This is some sort of, I guess they took an Epiphone.
Yeah.
And they like carved it up. What would you call this style of art? Elvish?
Like a filigree?
Filigree.
That might be wrong. It looks...
It's filled of gree.
It's the same style as an ornate golden oil painting frame.
Yeah.
You know, like you would see this around an oil painting of a forgotten landscape.
Yeah. So
with that distant mist in the background, you know? I think it's really cool. I think they did a really great job of this. Like they nailed what they were trying to do.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna judge it based on the execution, I'd say that some of the details are a little chunkier than they need to be. But that is just really all my personal preference. I think it's excellent. I think they really nailed the concept here. That, like, the violin cuts on the side and the waist of the guitar, perfectly done, perfectly well done. Like they nailed the silhouette that they were going for. The fact that there's cutouts through it where you can see through the guitar, and they even like considered the decoration around the control space and stuff like that. The only part of this that is catching my eye funny is the Superman crest. Like everything else is like, you did it.
That's
excellent.
That's
their logo.
Whoever did this.
It's their signature.
Yeah, GD.
It just doesn't flow.
Geodran, whoever that is.
It doesn't flow with the rest of the look, but I totally understand why they would have worked it into it.
Gegraveerde means engraved. I looked it up.
That makes total sense.
Yeah.
Even the treatment on the headstock, where the way they've applied the gold finish to like the beveling of the edge of the headstock and stuff, it just translates well and it just works. And the 3-dimensional qualities of the engraving on the headstock as well. Excellent job. I think that just like, I like looking at this thing. 475 euros. I'm assuming that is going to be comparable to
like $500.
Yeah.
I think, something like that. I think the euro and the dollar are pretty similar right now.
Even if it goes, 50 US one direction or another, I think that's it's in the neighborhood of a totally fair price for this.
Yeah, this is like you said, it's a lot of work done. It seems like it's pretty well done overall.
If I was in a vampire themed punk band,
like
I'd be all over this.
This is like $150. Like this is an Epiphone special.
But what it started as has been elevated by this, and I think it has wide enough appeal that I'd be willing to pay for the labor.
All right.
That's how I feel about it. Disagree with me if you want.
No, I don't. I just think it's really...
I was inviting the audience to disagree with me.
You all disagree with them because I will not.
You're not allowed to. I even like the rivets on the side, and usually that's a big no for me when there's rivets on the side of the guitar.
They actually kind of work here.
Yeah, they fit the look. There's a bit of I think the chunkiness I was talking about that catches my eye, it has a little bit of that Disney quality to the chunkiness.
Okay.
Where I'd want a little bit more of a refined quality.
Right, more like Titanic.
Yeah, I guess.
Less Disney.
Like this is a little bit Beauty and the Beast.
Right.
But
you're a Little Mermaid boy.
But it's a complete theme. Oh yeah, I'd definitely go for a Little Mermaid theme, like a shipwrecked guitar. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. The theme is really, really well done. So I don't know. I think it's cool. I think someone should buy it. I mean, I know it started out as a $150 Epiphone or whatever. Yeah. But you're paying for the looks here.
It is a look. And actually I didn't realize because I was looking at the back trying to figure out why are there holes in it? And well, no, because for some reason, looking at it in the front, I see that there are holes all the way through, but I just didn't translate that when I look at the back. But the way that they're done, actually, from the back view, it looks good.
They still did work to make the back attractive, even though they didn't carry the full carving.
You know what it is? It's because they beveled them.
Yeah,
they beveled the backside in it, and that makes it look better.
They did the extra work.
Very good attention to detail here.
Yeah. So what band would you play this in? I already said like a teenage
Smashing Pumpkins,
like vampire punk band. Oh, you're gonna name like a specific band.
Oh, I would play this. The new girl in Smashing Pumpkins should be playing this. I don't know her name.
This would be fun in either it is perfect for a neoclassical Disney theme song cover band.
If I was in a band called Vulture Shock, I would play this guitar.
Of course you would.
Because this is kind of like, I could see this fitting in like a moody, gothy, dark wave scenario.
Any sort of gothy sort of band. Absolutely. If there's a cello player in your band, this is how you rise to the occasion and match the mood.
Right.
Right. Or if you're the cello player and you're like, sometimes I want to incorporate electric guitar.
So the funny thing is I've off the top of my head, I know two bands that have had cello players, and this guitar does not fit the vibe for either of them. Because one of them's like an indie folk band and the other one's like an emo,
you don't think this would work with an emo band?
No, it's way too dramatic.
Just imagine it spray painted red and black.
No, but this is like 90s, when they were just wearing band t-shirts.
Okay. You're talking about the Telecaster Deluxe emos.
Yeah, you're talking about, you would play this in My Chemical Romance.
Right,
sure,
right, yeah.
Sure, yeah. I get it. And
I hear what you're saying.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah.
I don't have anything else to say about this.
Either do I. Do we want to pick a winner?
No, we got a lot of show left.
We got more show? Oh, we haven't even gotten to the last one.
Ryan.
Yes, Steve.
If people who are listening to this who have made it this far want to support the program, they can head on over to Patreon.
Holy hell, we do have a lot of show.
Where for as little as $1 a month, they can get on the scroll that's going to go on at the end of the show. At the $5 level, I mentioned it before, I put together sticker and pick packs with my kid. I'll send it to you. At the $10 level, you're going to get that sticker and pick pack plus some exclusive merch plus whatever I've got laying around. And you know, NAMM's coming up, so hopefully I can get a bunch of swag at NAMM, and that stuff will go into my $10 Patreon stuff. And honestly, I probably should reach out to some brands about sending me stickers and knickknacks.
Maybe Chase Bliss will have some extra mystery boxes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's not happening.
I'm sure they will. Ryan?
Yeah, Steve?
What's new?
Oh, I got a story to tell, Steve.
Oh.
I had a lovely dinner, a lovely night out with the Surfrajettes. They played,
and your wife,
and my wife was there too. I'll put up a picture.
The way you went into that was like a little too.
Was it sus? I'm sorry. Okay. Do we need to start the whole episode over? So
an hour in.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. I wear their shirts all the time.
Yeah.
I'm buddies with them. They came through San Diego and they played when this came out, it was like 2 weeks ago.
Sure.
But they played on a Saturday. I was not able to make it. I had this thought in my mind, like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make this happen. So I'm not going to buy the pre-sale tickets. If I'm able to do it, then I'm going to show up and buy it at the door and just kind of risk it, sort of thing. We had a weekend where Lauren and I were just bushed. Like Saturday was like a healing day for us. And I was like, I'm not going to make it out there. But Saturday morning, Shermie from the Surfrajettes messages me and she's like, I'm having an amp emergency. Can you help me? I was like, yeah, absolutely. Of course. I'm thinking I'm going to be driving an amp down to the Casbah, and she's going to end up having to borrow it for the rest of their tour or whatever.
I saw the initial request, and I thought, like, so is Ryan going to give her the Tone King or Princeton?
Which amp am I going to loan to her? I need the Princetons to work. But I was like, yeah, maybe the Tone King. I was thinking that new Supro that I got could have been good. Yeah. Even the Rev.
Oh, the Rev will handle it.
It's behind Steve, I think. Yeah, the Rev back there would be a great, like, clean platform for touring with. So what actually happened, and we found this all out at dinner. She told me the full story. She completely retubed her Pro Reverb.
Yeah.
On the road, like in the back of their tour van or in a hotel room or something like that. She completely retubed it because it was starting to do that like fading sort of thing that tube amps do as tubes are going bad. And then it stopped working. It stopped passing signal. So then she's doing all this stuff to diagnose it. And she tracks it down. She's like, I think I blew the fuse. So now she's trying to track down fuses, and she's like telling me all the different specs of fuses that she was reading up on and looking into, and she was doing stuff to measure things and whatnot. And she's trying to track down this very specific fuse. And she's telling me about all this work that she did on this amp on the road. And she gets to the end of the story at dinner time. And you know, it all ends in her being able to finally find a fuse after talking to every tech she could find on the drive from one gig down to San Diego. And at the end of the story, she's like, what would you have done? Like, what, like, and I look at her and I'm like, you did more in this story. You worked on an amp more in this story than I have in my entire life. Yeah. Like, and the amount of details that you just dumped on me, I don't know what most of it is. Like, you got into technical specifics. I have no idea. Like I've retubed amps knowing full well this is probably supposed to be rebiased, and I have no idea how to do it, but I'm cheap, so I'm just going to see what happens.
Yeah. You told me bits of this story, and I just thought, like, what would I do? I'd go to Guitar Center, and I'd buy an amp, and then I'd return it after the tour.
Right. No, she's like...
And they'd be like, why did you buy this amp in San Diego, and you're returning it in Duluth? Like, what is that all about?
But I was just, like, so impressed. Like 10% into the story, I was like, oh, you were retubing an amp on the road. Okay. And then, like, as it went, like, got more and more detailed, and the steps she was going through and the people she was talking to, like, wow, this is an amount of effort that I was not expecting from this story. I thought something broke and you're looking for a loaner.
Yeah.
I thought that's what the story was. But I wanted to spin a little bit back to the Patreon stuff really quick.
Sure.
I did this like 2 years ago when I had the opportunity to film them play at Tiki Oasis. I treated them to dinner after that Tiki Oasis show, and I put it on the Patreon. Mm-hmm. I told them, like, this is on the Patreons. I did that again, and we had an excellent time. It was more expensive than the last time. Also, I was able to bring along Lauren. We were able to track down a babysitter last minute. And
cool.
And we were just like, you know what? Let's have an excellent time. Let's have an adventure as grown-ups getting to go out and have a good time with some friends. And I just want to thank the Patreons because we legitimately had an excellent time with them. We told them it was kind of like getting to pass on, pay it forward. There have been people like Phil McKnight and all sorts of other people in the industry who have treated me and me and Steve and me and my wife to all sorts of nice moments over the years. And it felt really good to be able to have a budget, a financial freedom built into what we're doing here, to be able to say, you know what? Surfrajettes, you're on the road. It's hard to be on the road. I know you're eating at gas stations a lot, and and you're busy all the time. Let's have like just a nice night where we sit down. We got like oysters and ahi and stuff like that. We got a couple of cocktails, and we just had a really good time.
Yeah,
and it was refreshing for all of us. It was refreshing for me and Mrs. Hum. It was refreshing for the Surfrajettes, and we all walked away at the end of the night like, man, we really needed this. So I just want to thank the Patreons profusely. We don't blow Patreon money on nice dinners, really ever. And it was an excellent experience. And the Surfrajettes know full well that you guys funded that. And they have their own Patreons, and they're going to be paying it forward. I'm sure they're going to treat someone someday with their Patreon funds, and it's just a fun dynamic to be able to have.
It is like a weird thing, not to do a yes and too hard on this, but this, we've had this come up before with when we did Gear Fest. It's a weird thing to go to gear events, and we have NAMM coming up. Originally we were the big dog in the house, but then Henning is going to be there, so we're a medium dog again. But it's weird to be in those kinds of environments and kind of be the industry leader, I guess, in a given space.
It is nice to have resources,
and so much of being able to take that and take the viewership and turn that into something really cool when we work with other channels comes out of the Patreon fund. So again, thanks to the Patreons for, when we always talk about NAMM, it's going to be we're going to be paying for food and drinks and stuff. It's also probably going to be paying for food and drinks for other channels that we like, and we want to help support in ways, and you supporting us also allows us to support those channels. So. We
don't need to have this as even what we've been talking about, we're not trying to promote the Patreon right now. We're just trying to thank the Patreons.
Yeah.
So thank you for that experience. The Surfrajettes, thank you for that experience. I don't know. It's just an excellent place to be. It's excellent to know that we have the funds to do cool things.
Yeah.
So, it's nice to let you guys know what we use that for. I should post on the Patreon tonight the picture that I have of us together and thank them.
You should.
Intentionally. So I will do that tonight, and that was a week and a half ago before this episode. So they already know.
Ryan, this last ad was sent by Michael Lovett.
Love it or leave it. Here we go.
Mick Jagger's 3-piece sectional throne used in the sci-fi 1992 movie Freejack. It's $10,000.
$10,000.
This is a movie prop sofa used in Mick Jagger's only film, Freejack. The movie
his only film?
Can be viewed on YouTube and is up for bids. I also have the parrot chair in the opening scene with Emilio Estevez. To be clear, it's the parrot chair, and Emilio Estevez was in the scene. This seller is not selling Emilio Estevez for $10,000.
No, he's much more expensive. That's a completely different listing.
I've never heard of this movie.
I have seen it. but I think I would put it on just to have something dumb on in the background. I watched the trailer and I was like, yeah, I vaguely remember this. I think I remember this. It is like, it's basically Idiocracy. Where like a guy, Emilio Estevez is a race car driver in current day, meaning 1989.
1991 or something.
Yeah, yeah. And so he's like a NASCAR driver, and he gets in an accident, and some evil corporation freezes him, and then he gets thawed out in the future and has to fight like these evil corporate overlords or whatever. And Mick Jagger, I think, is like the assassin sent to kill him or something. But it's got Anthony Hopkins in it. It's got I think it's Rene Russo is in it. Like, so okay, it's kind of star-studded, but it totally looks like a very B-rated bad movie.
So real quick, Mick Jagger was the lead role in Ned Kelly.
Yeah, it's not his only movie.
He hasn't done a lot of movies, and I'm saying movies where he's not playing himself, because there is one movie where he plays himself.
Sure.
There's actually two movies, but he's in Ned Kelly and Performance in 1970, Freejack in 1992, Bent in 1997, Enigma and The Man from Elysian Fields in 2001, The Bank Job in 2008, and The Burnt Orange Heresy in 2019. He also is a producer on a bunch of these, but he was not a producer on Freejack. And Freejack starred Emilio Estevez, Mick Jagger, Rene Russo, Anthony Hopkins, Jonathan Banks, David Johansen. Jonathan Banks, did you ever watch, you watched Better Call Saul?
Yeah.
He's the old guy. Mike, the old guy.
Yeah.
I saw you like wince a little when you just looked confused. So I didn't know if you.
No, I was searching for it and then I found it. I remember the movie having a lot of really great set pieces, and like there was a lot of automotive set piece stuff, like futuristic cars and stuff like that. But it's all trying to be kind of RoboCop-y.
Gotcha.
That all being said, like what we have here is a couch that definitely looks like it came from that, but it also looks like they found an existing standalone seat and then just kind of bolted to random like studio made prop seats next to it.
Yeah, if I Google Freejack Couch, it means nothing to me.
No, I tried to do that too, and I was trying to find a shot of this, and like I'm not going to sit and watch the movie trying to find this thing. No. Maybe it's in the background.
Well, apparently the movie's on YouTube according to this listing.
Yeah.
So
you can.
Is it free on YouTube? I guess that would be the question.
No one's defending that copyright right now. So go watch it if you want. And then the parrot chair that apparently Emilio Estevez, the Mighty Ducks man himself, sat on. I don't know, man. It just looks like a grandma chair.
The Mighty Ducksman?
The Mighty Ducksman.
The Mighty Ducksman.
Yeah.
It does look like a grandma chair.
I
don't know. Is this worth how do you know how much a couch is worth?
I know. If you can put this couch, it looks so gross and dirty. You know they've been using that parrot chair. The red couch looks unused. It's probably not comfortable because it's just a prop chair.
Is the peace enforcement thing, is that like part of the movie? Is that what they're called?
Yeah.
Like the
I don't remember all the details. It's a vague memory in my mind.
I'm saying though, just like this, there's a sticker and like a mirror.
Right.
And those are like movie props.
No, the peace enforcement is like the future cops or whatever.
Oh, it's Freejack. That's a jack. Is that why?
Right.
I gotta watch this movie now.
It's got kind of like Johnny Mnemonic elements to it.
Johnny Mnemonic.
Kind of, it's cyberpunky. It's kind of RoboCop-y.
Bad CGI.
Yeah. It's that era of movie.
Would you say that this movie or The Matrix was better?
I think The Matrix was better executed, but I think depending on your mood, you might find more entertainment value from Freejack because you've probably seen The Matrix a dozen times at this point, and you're ready for something new and something that isn't green all the time.
Here's my reaction to that take.
Whoa.
All right, Ryan, we gotta do
kung fu.
We gotta do an Adventurers Club. I'm going with Gegraveerde.
It was pretty good.
What are you thinking? You want to go with that Plexi Amp?
I kind of do.
I think we're gonna have to spin.
Obviously, no one should buy that couch.
Sorry.
Not for 10 grand. Buy the most amazing feeling couch you could find if you've got 10 grand to spend on a couch.
I want to go with the couch. I want to go with Gegraveerde.
Yeah, no, I think that's the
Epiphone.
correct one to go for. I'm going with the Plexi Amp. I think that's the piece of gear I would be most interested in having in my life.
I learned so much about the movie Freejack that I'd not heard of.
You're going to go watch it now.
Before an hour ago. I'm going with Gegraveerde.
Okay. Here we go. What's it going to be?
Stereo mixed down to mono.
Oh, Steve got it.
Woo!
Congratulations. Just barely. It almost landed on the respin.
Yeah, congratulations to...
And it goes to a new person.
Root Van Andel.
That warms my heart when a new person wins the $25 virtual gift certificate printed on heavy virtual cardstock to the retailer or fast food establishment of your choice. All made possible with the Patreon support.
This song was sent by Marc Tetreault. He says, hi, Ryan and Steve. Greetings from Colorado/Virginia. Love your podcast. It's my go-to for commutes to/from work. This is a song called Heavy Bottom. Our band is called Day Old Bread. Written, performed by me, Marc Tetreault, and my friend Tony Gillespie. Thank you for doing what you do. And God bless. Peace, Mark and Tony. This song is called Heavy Bottom.
You know what? You're welcome. I'm telling you, man, 2025 is going to be the year of the wah. Wah's coming back.
You were saying that.
Wah is coming back.
That is your prediction.
Yeah, it was more of a hope.
What did you think of this song, Ryan?
I thought it was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of really neat elements in there, a lot of homages to some classic tunes. At times, I thought it was a little bit too busy. There's a bit much too going on. So maybe it's time to bust out the pruning shears and cut a few things back a little bit. But yeah, like if you enjoyed your song, you did a great job. I enjoyed it too. That's how I feel about it. What do you think, Steve?
Ryan.
Yes, Steve.
I think at 5 minutes and 12 seconds long, this song is the perfect length for all of my bedroom needs.
Goodbye, everybody.
Stay grounded.